And once again, Robert Saleh is looking like a guy who could be one of the top coaching candidates around the league this year. And here's what I predict with Robert Saleh, because games like this are going to get him another head coaching job. I actually think the fact that Fred Warner and Nick Bosa went down, I don't want to say it was good for Robert Saleh because that's in poor taste, but it actually made, because if he had a good defense, people could say, well, you have Fred Warner and Nick Bosa. A lot of people have had good defenses with these guys. Now those guys leave, and you can do stuff like this with, who's your best player on defense right now? Cleveland Farrell? Cleveland Farrell is your best player on defense right now. You can do that. Yeah, man, you're definitely one of the best defensive coaches in the league. And some organizations still like defensive coaches. Some want offensive coaches, and he won't be a factor there. Like, he would have been a better coach for this team than Kevin Stefanski. He wanted to coach this team, but they hired Stefanski. That was probably a mistake. Here's what I think is going to happen with Robert Saleh. Last week, Josina Anderson reported that a longtime NFL coach is considering a change of scenery. I wondered if that coach is Kyle Shanahan. I don't believe it is. I think it's a coach who's been in the NFL a lot longer than Kyle. I think the coach that she's talking about, and I think it's like the worst kept secret in football, is Mike Tomlin. He's been coaching the Steelers for like, what? More than 20 years, something like 20 years. And, they're going to be searching for another quarterback this upcoming year. Maybe it's time for him to leave and go coach a team that has a quarterback. I wouldn't be surprised if he goes to the Giants. They have Jackson Dart. They had an offensive coach. Usually teams oscillate back and forth. The offensive coach didn't work. Fire him. Get a defensive coach. So I could see Mike Tomlin getting that job. Mike Tomlin would probably be if Mike Tomlin and Robert Saleh both applied for that job, I think they would go to Tomlin. He's won a Super Bowl. He's been highly successful head coach, and Robert Saleh wasn't, although he had every excuse. It's the freaking Jets. So let's say Tomlin goes to the Giants. Well, then what happens to Robert Saleh? What happens to the Steelers? I'm guessing that once Tomlin leaves, if Tomlin leaves, that they'll replace him, the Steelers, with Robert Saleh. I think he'd be a perfect coach for them. They always have defensive coaches. Chuck Noll, defensive coach. What was the dude's name after him? Cowher. Bill Cowher, defensive coach. Robert Saleh, Mike Tomlin, defensive coach. It's a great spot for Saleh too, because they never fire their coaches. You get to work there for life if you want to, or for 20 years. That's my best prediction. Let's see if it happens. But all the more reason for the Niners to win the Super Bowl this year if they can. Because next year, tougher schedule, probably no Robert Saleh. You might get Nick Bosa and Fred Warner back for week 1. Who knows when they'll come back, but there is something special about this team. Freaking Cleveland Farrell playing like way better than Nick Bosa ever did. Cleveland, when was the last time Nick Bosa had 4 sacks in 4 games? 2023? 2? Cleveland Farrell was drafted 2 picks after Nick Bosa. Did you know that? That's a little Cleveland Farrell trivia. It went Kyler Murray, Nick Bosa, Quinnen Williams, Cleveland Farrell. And right now, it's looking like Cleveland Farrell is the best one. Maybe he should have been the number 1 pick in the draft. I think it'd be really cool if he blossomed into a superstar randomly 6 years into his career. Why not? Let's take some super chats. Too Much Sauce says Sky Moore a free agent in 2026. What do we do? $30 million a year? 35? You give the guarantees that you took from Brandon Ayuk, give it to Sky. Give it to Sky. MM Forever says Niners could have won by 300. You'd still complain. Did I complain? I don't think I complained. It's my job to analyze. But why would I complain? I don't root for this team. If they make the playoffs, you know what I make? More money. So that's good, man. I'm always pro money. Richard Evangelista says, are the Niners still a dark horse? Probably not with 9 wins. Grant, you got to take back all trash talk after this W. Nah, man, I don't got to take back nothing. Steve Lewis says, Kyle Shanahan really not going to let Kendrick get his 18 yards? Isn't that fucked up? Give him his 18 yards. It's messed up. I hope they did throw it to him. He almost caught it. I thought he was in bounds. Ball flirted a little bit. He caught it. I thought he got 2 feet in bounds. Richard says the cold was bothering his elbow. We could only imagine how his toe felt. Did you know that I have a herniated lumbar? When I was 25, I was doing deadlifts, probably poorly, and a little bit of like the lining came through my back, and I have this big lump in my back, and it's been there for like 12 years. And I got really into running this year, and I just ruined. Like I'm in so much pain all the time because I have this lump in my back. It's a hernia in my back. It's great. It's attractive, and it affects me every step I take, every breath I take. Other than that, though, no one really cares. Do you ever notice that if you're not a professional athlete, no one cares about your injuries? It's okay. I care. SB2 Bling says Kyle lying, not knowing about the steel plate. I asked about that, right? I was like, is that true? Did you know about it? He's like, yeah, those are things I don't talk about with Brock. I love how Kyle seems to have like no urge to like tell the truth. He's just like, I'll just say whatever. Okay, sure. Why not? Jameer says, want to bench Stafford after he gave the ball up 3 times? Yeah, let's bench Stafford, man. Purdy fans are so touchy. Like, if you say that, hey, we should pull Purdy from this game, it's like, well, then every quarterback who throws 3 picks should get pulled. Okay, the point is that the Niners would have beaten the Panthers with Mac Jones. So would the Rams have beaten the Panthers with Jimmy Garoppolo? Probably not, because he sucks. So, yeah, you kind of got to roll with Matthew Stafford no matter how he's playing if he's having a bad day. It's not like you actually go to Jimmy Garoppolo, but Mac Jones is a lot better than Jimmy Garoppolo, and Brock Purdy's a lot worse than Matthew Stafford. So when Brock starts throwing the game away, yeah, I would consider pulling him. But if it makes you feel good to make fun of Matthew Stafford when he's having an MVP caliber season, then go for it. Today's your day. Bill Kenny says you laughed off playoff home game. What now? Still went out. Could happen. They could definitely win out. Spotted Striper says very few illegal formation flags this year compared to previous years. Good job, Kyle. Did you notice that Kyle Juszczyk had a clear false start they didn't call? I did. Hope he's okay. Maybe it's John Harbaugh and not Tomlin, says Keith and Bernie. Hey, if it's John Harbaugh, then Salah could go to the Ravens. Either team would be perfect for him. But I think it's Tomlin. Terrell Thomas says, is there still a chance for Max Crosby in 2026? I don't think so. I don't.